Resulted in downed tree limbs, power outages, and slick and dangerous driving conditions. Today, the sun came out.
And Nicholas is here to tell us if we could see a stretch of dry weather. Felt pretty good.
It felt pretty good, although, boy, still breezy and windy at times. That was something we had to contend with today. And while we've had some dry hours, there are more to come. But tomorrow, our next system moves in, and by the end of the day, we could see some scattered precipitation return to the region. Right now, though, the sunshine continues outside with just a few scattered clouds in the mix. You can see on Storm Tracker, not much to see, no precipitation to track, and only those few scattered clouds out and about. Our temperatures today have risen to around 30 and just above 30 now in Fort Wayne, with our winds coming from the west at 16 miles per hour, giving us a feels-like reading of 19. As we continue through the evening here, look for temperatures to be falling through the 20s, and then overnight, temperatures actually start to rise again. Coming up in the 10-day forecast, I'll have that hour-by-hour outlook for your Valentine's Day, and although it will be a warmer one, well, there's colder air that will follow. Stay tuned.
We're a city that's becoming stronger and ready to tackle and embrace whatever lies ahead.
Mayor Tom Henry talked about a bright future for the city of Fort Wayne in his 12th State of the City address.
His speech focused on accomplishments in 2018 and looked ahead to this year. It covered various topics, including ongoing construction projects and continued economic development. This includes citing the redevelopment of the landing and the opening of Superior Lofts and Skyline Tower and other downtown developments. Mayor Henry said he is confident that this year we're going to see at least one additional mixed-use development in downtown. He also touched on overall crime going down 15%. But the mayor also said there is still more work to be done.
We can't shy away from the fact, though, that there was a spike in the number of homicides in 2018. I know Police Chief Steve Reed and the men and women of the Fort Wayne Police Department are working tirelessly to combat this criminal element. We're adding more resources, staff, and technology to the homicide unit to address these violent crimes.
Tonight at 6, more from the mayor's speech. And if you would like to read or watch it in its entirety, head to WANE.com. A big highlight from the mayor's speech is the grand opening date for Promenade Park along the riverfront. It is set to open with a 3-day celebration in June.
Now, WANE 15 is proud to partner with the city of Fort Wayne to help mark this community milestone in a big way. That starts tonight with an exclusive look at the ribbon-cutting celebration.
WANE 15's Chris Darby has been on top of the construction process every step of the way. He continues our coverage now live in the newsroom. Chris?
Yeah, the mayor officially set the date today, Friday, June 21st. And I can tell you that excitement is starting to build now as planning happens for that big grand opening weekend. If you go down to the construction site right now and look at the cold, snow-covered area along Superior Street, you might be surprised that in just 4 months, the park will be ready to go. From construction to community, it will transform to a gathering place with a fitting celebration. 3 days filled with fun, each with a theme and a big highlight. Friday, June 21st is about arts and culture, a floating band performance on the river, and the official ribbon cutting set to happen then. Saturday is Recreation Day, capped off with a flotilla or a light-up boat parade. Nature will be center stage on Sunday with a big butterfly release.
We want everyone down there. It's everyone's park. The rivers are everyone's rivers, and this grand opening is for everyone. We're working with a ton of different community groups to collaborate on our programming for the event so that we can really make sure that we're not just inviting everyone, but including everyone in the entire process.
Finishing touches are being put on the Park Foundation Pavilion. You see it there as we speak. The tree canopy trail is going up on the north side of St. Mary's, and concrete work along Superior will soon turn to landscaping as those temperatures rise and we get into the spring months. Coming up at 6, more on the countdown and what will happen between now and then. Live in the newsroom, Chris Darby, WANE 15 News.
I'm confident we're going to solve this case. So I'm confident that if he's listening in or she's listening in or whoever it is, that at some point I will be sitting across from you in the courtroom.
A powerful message to the person who killed 2 teenagers 2 years ago. Today, Indiana State Police and the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office say there is no new information about this case.
But it's not because the public hasn't helped their investigation. So far, they have received 38,000 tips for the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. They were 13 and 14 years old when they vanished 2 years ago today while hiking near their hometown of Delphi. Their bodies were found the next day. Since then, authorities have released a photo of the possible suspect, a drawing, and a recording saying "down the hill." They are still taking calls, but now they're pushing the public to email them as well. The email is abbyandlibbytip@cacoshrf.com. And they're also looking for a few specifics, including the suspect name, date of birth, physical description, location, reason why they would be a suspect, connection to Delphi, and motivation for the crime. Again, that email is abbyandlibbytip@cacoshrf.com. You'll find all this information on our website, WANE.com.
One person is dead and an officer is on administrative leave after a shooting at a suspect in Defiance, Ohio. Officers were called to Martin Street just south of the Maumee River Tuesday morning. Investigators say 4 officers arrived on scene and the 58-year-old suspect was at a home. And at some point then, police shot and killed the man. Investigators can't confirm if the suspect had a weapon or fired at police. According to the Defiance, Ohio chief, it's the first time in more than 20 years an officer has been involved in a shooting.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are putting the finishing touches on a border security deal to avoid another government shutdown.
But the question is, will the president sign it? He has not definitively said he will. CBS's Natalie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill.
President Trump welcomed Colombia's president to the White House as he awaited the final text of a border spending deal that would keep the government open.
We're going to take a look at it when it comes. I don't want to see a shutdown. Shutdown would be a terrible thing.
Pressure mounted on the president Wednesday to sign the bill as congressional lawmakers raced to get a draft on paper.
The president must not repeat his mistakes of the recent past. President Trump, sign this bill.
Mr. Trump wanted $5.7 billion for a border wall. The compromise gives him about a quarter of it, nearly $1.4 billion for fencing, 55 miles of it in the Rio Grande Valley.
If the text of the bill reflects the principles agreed to on Monday, it won't be a perfect deal, but it'll be a good deal.
Sources tell CBS News President Trump is likely to sign the deal, and he signaled he could go around Congress to get more money for the border wall.
With the wall, they want to be stingy, but we have options that most people don't really understand.
Amid the uncertainty, dozens of federal workers protested on Capitol Hill with a message for Congress.
You will see us in your office every day, 7 days a week.
Lawmakers could vote on the spending bill as early as Thursday night. President Trump would need to sign it by Friday night to avoid another partial government shutdown. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Coming up on First at 5 months after playing in the state title game against each other, players and fans of Bishop Dwanger's football team came together to help 2 Evansville football players who were essentially homeless.
And spring is another step closer. We'll show you how you can get tickets for opening day at Parkview Field when your number 1 news at 5 returns.
Shop Kittles now for President's Day savings on the beautiful new bedroom of your dreams. Kittles has every style for every budget, like this queen-size panel bed made in the USA, now only $3.99 during the President's Day sale at Kittles.
This February, you can share your heart with all your Valentines. Boyfriends, girlfriends, just friends, friends of friends, BFFs, and maybe even frenemies. Because love is love, however you slice it. That's why this heart arrives unsliced. Get a heart-shaped pizza and brownies, all for just $16.
Northwoods Village at Inverness Lakes.
The most important thing about Northwoods Village is not only what they have done for Daniel, but what they have done for me. I think the heart of the facility is the courtyard. It's so welcoming. We are very pleased that this is where he is making his new home. Northwoods Village is a very nice place. Go meet those wonderful people. It's their blessing to all of us.
There are a lot of ways to deal with a stubborn drain. There's the passive approach, and everyone's least favorite, the interactive method. Or you can just call Gibson's. Their high-definition LED camera can go where no plumber has gone before, deep inside your sewer lines to find the root of the problem. So when you have to battle sewer backups, remember, my friend, choose your weapon wisely. And call Gibson's. Those guys do everything.
When you're ordering your groceries, consider the source. Only Kroger can bring you all the fresh, delicious food and quality products you already know and love. So check out while you're chilling. Shop online today.
If you've been denied your Social Security disability benefits, tell them you mean business.
You'll have no worries at Carpet One's bestseller sale, knowing you're saving on the best of the best. Hurry!
Now at Kittle's Mattress Max, it's the Beauty Rest for Less event. Get a free Beauty Rest sleep tracker plus a free box spring. Or save up to $600 on a Smart Motion base. Plus pay 0 interest for up to 6 years at Kittle's Mattress Max.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching WANE 15 News, first at 5.
With the crack of the bat, or in this case, the swipe of a card, baseball season is another step closer.
Today, tickets went on sale for the team's next season. They kicked off with a celebration this morning as the first fans lined up for tickets. They got the chance to eat a complimentary breakfast buffet after making the purchase. Yearly promotional highlights include Star Wars Night, Princess Night, Superhero Night, Lego Night, and of course the ever-popular 4th of July game. There will also be 30 post-game fireworks celebrations. Opening night, mark your calendar. It is Thursday, April 4th. You can find a link to buy tickets and the schedule right now on WANE.com.
Feel warmer just looking at that. Last November, the Bishop Dwenger Saints walked off the field with the state championship title.
They went into 8 quarters against Evansville Central. But tonight we're talking about what they did off the field. WANE 15 Sierra Tufts joins us now with more. Sierra.
Dirk and Tara, it's a big moment for a high school team playing in the state championship game. There's always a winner, and there's always a loser. But this loss was a hard pill to swallow for the Evansville Central team. Dwenger head coach Jason Garrett was forwarded an article about their opponent after the game. The article shared some of the hardships the team faced, including 2 players essentially being homeless. This touched Coach Garrett, especially since one of the photos in the article showed his player consoling an Evansville player after the loss. That player was one of the 2 facing homelessness, so Coach Garrett sent a call out asking what Dwenger could do for the team. They came up with a plan to raise money for the 2 players.
We often tell our guys, you never know what's going on in the lives of other people around you, and in this case, namely your opponent. And given the fact that we were blessed to win that game and we had the opportunity to celebrate, meanwhile, these guys that have experienced so much adversity extends to us the need to reach out and show compassion.
The Bishop Dwenger community raised enough money for 2 $1,000 scholarships, and Dwenger player Tavion McGarry gave up a portion of his own scholarship to help. Those scholarships were sent to the school in the names of the 2 players facing homelessness. And we'll have more at 6 o'clock. Sierra Tufts, WANE 15 News.
Sierra, thanks. Terrific story.
That pulls on your heartstrings, to say the least.
Yes.
Okay, we saw the sun today, thank goodness. It was so nice to feel that.
Absolutely. Now, tomorrow we have another weather system moving in that will bring in more clouds, so the sun will be fleeting, but hey, a little bit more to enjoy tonight, and there will be some in the morning tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be a warm day for Valentine's Day. I'll track things for you after this.
Start your mornings with the experienced team you trust. Weekday mornings beginning at 5.
Ashley Home Store's President's Day sale starts right now. Hurry in and save up to 30% or get 0% interest for 5 years with no money down on new styles for every room in your home at your Ashley Home Stores on Lima Road in West Jefferson.
And you said it was how much? For 2? And a free eye exam? Stanton! Oh, I love you. No, I hate it.
At Stanton Optical, get 2 pair for $59.95, plus a free eye exam.
Karate has changed my life. It's made me feel like a stronger person. If you don't have confidence, you're not going to shine as bright as you truly can. karate and my education are similar. I get that same confidence with a master's from Indiana Wesleyan University. Being confident makes me shine brighter.
You are a light, and with a little help from Indiana Wesleyan University, your light can shine brighter than you ever thought possible.
Searching for the best price on a new truck or SUV? Check out JimSchmidtAuto.com and save. Jim Schmidt is the area's largest truck dealer. 2 massive lots filled with over 250 new and pre-owned trucks. Just 20 minutes from Fort Wayne, a short drive to save thousands.
The Omnibus Lecture Series continues on February 19th with Reflections, the Life and Times of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Get your free tickets at pfw.edu/omnibus.
And you said it was how much? For 2? And a free eye exam? Stanton! Oh, I love you. No, I hate it.
At Stanton Optical, get 2 pair for $59.95, plus a free eye exam.
Ashley Home Store's President's Day mattress sale starts right now. Save up to $500 on select Serta iComfort adjustable mattress sets. Or get 0% interest for 8 years, starting at just $25 a month at your Ashley Home Stores on Lima Road in West Jefferson.
WANE 15 delivers live coverage of breaking news to keep you informed with the most up-to-date information.
Avoid the downtown area.
That's local coverage you can count on. Local coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferrari's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
Well, with some new snow added in recent days, I wanted to share with you our latest snowfall total. We're now over 20 inches for the season at 20.8. That is, though, 3.9 inches below average to date, and it is more than 5 inches less than we'd picked up by this time last winter. Now, in the 10-day forecast, a couple more chances to see some snow, including one coming over the weekend. For now, though, things are pretty quiet. You take a look off to the northeast, and there's the system that gave us the icy conditions and all these strong winds. It will continue to move eastward, and as it does so tonight, our winds here will relax. But there's another weather system coming together off to the west of us that makes its move in tomorrow. Our winds pick up again, so expect more breezy moments during the day tomorrow. However, those winds will be bringing in some warmer air and give us a boost to our temperatures. Today, the clouds decrease. We've seen some sunshine, and now as we head into the night, our sky mostly clear. Wind gusts still a big part of the story. They haven't fully lightened up just quite yet. We're still getting gusts in Fort Wayne up to around 25 miles per hour. In Fort Wayne, it's 30 degrees, but feeling like 19 with our winds breezy from the west, sustained at 16 miles per hour. Here this evening, temperatures will be falling into the lower 20s soon after sunset. Then overnight, the temperatures will start to rise. At 5 o'clock, will be at 30, with the temperatures just continuing to rise during the day tomorrow. We end up in the 40s by the afternoon. On Futurecast tonight, just some scattered clouds to be spotted. We move into the morning tomorrow, and you can see a few clouds in the sky, but there likely will be some sunshine coming on down at sunup before the clouds thicken up during the second half of the day. Morning time temperatures will be around 30 for Fort Wayne and points to the north, a little bit warmer down to the south where we will be in the mid-30s. Now, for the day ahead, we have this warm front coming on through, which helps give our temperatures that increase. It likely will pass through with a little fanfare and no real rain to talk about at that point. But later in the evening, into early Friday, a cold front comes on through, and that will give us a chance at seeing some precipitation. For the day ahead, at 8 in the morning, 31, at noon, 43, at 4 o'clock, 45. Winds pick up during the day tomorrow. They'll blow in from the south and blow in at speeds between 10 and 20 miles per hour. Now, tomorrow night into early Friday, you can see how there will be a few scattered rain showers around as we approach midnight, and then overnight the cold air comes in. We may see a few snowflakes, but very limited here in terms of actual quantity of precipitation, so this should not be a big impact maker for your Friday morning commute. And then during the day on Friday, conditions will be dry around here and noticeably colder. Here's a look at the next 10 days. For tomorrow, 46 degrees our high temperature. On Friday, though, we make it only to 30. On Saturday, sunshine, 31. On Sunday, 28. We'll see some snow there, maybe an inch or two. On Monday, sunny, 29. Tuesday, 32. Wednesday, 33. A mixture of rain and snow showers then. Thursday, 36. Then we'll wrap up the week with high temperatures in the 40s. That's your forecast. More news right after this.
The weather here is constantly changing, and you need to know what to expect. That's where we come in. The live Doppler 15 Fury Storm Team, always watching the sky and tracking winter storms, monitoring temperature changes. More.
My check. Oh. I know, but now I'm actually have it on me.
And the live Doppler 15
Family Recovery
Storm
Court will
Team
work in 3
knows
phases
to
of
make weather
treatment.
better.
Well, I put it on me, but then I set it back
Shoes
down
is
on
Fort
the
Wayne's home for happy feet.
thingy.
It's New Balance Week, which means all New Balance men's, women's, and kids'
Family
shoes are on
Recovery
sale
Court will
this
work
week
in
only.
3 phases of treatment.
Running, walking, cross-training, or casual, we have a pair just for you. Our specially trained foot pros know how to fit you correctly with the largest selection of sizes and widths in the area. Save on all New Balance shoes now through Saturday at Fred Tena's Shoes, 2415 Hobson Road, just north of State. Fort Wayne's home for happy feet.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
This is the all-new Chevy Silverado.
It's beautiful.
Beefy and mean looking. It's the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. The cab is bigger than the last generation.
First truck I've seen make you look small.
But that's not all.
Oh my!
Whoa! The Silverado has more cargo volume than any competitor.
Very impressive. Get a total value of over $7,000 on this all-new Silverado when you finance with GM Financial. See your Northeast Indiana and Ohio Chevy dealers.
We understand the anxiety that comes with picking a 2-for-5 mix and match order. Also, we kind of don't understand. There's literally no way to mess this up.
Arby's, we have the meats.
For sandwiches.
Fios by Frontier Triple Play is now only $79.99 a month before taxes and fees. And for a limited time with a 2-year commitment, get a $100 Visa reward card. Early termination fee applies, redemption required. Get fast uploads for our new low price, $79.99 a month with Fios.
With a team of photographers, reporters, and anchors, WANE 15 asks the tough questions to get the answers you need to know. Local coverage you can count on. Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching WANE 15 News, first at 5.
The Allen County Superior Court is launching a new project this week that will provide a new tool for families and guardians struggling with substance abuse.
This will offer a special opportunity to provide unique treatment and more frequent contact with families and cases, including abuse and neglect. WANE 15's Rachel Russell has tonight's story for your well-being.
Dirk and Tara, the Family Recovery Court will work in 3 phases of treatment. These include detoxification, education or employment, and maintenance of a safe, stable housing.
Last year alone, 749 children in need of services cases were filed in the Allen County Superior Court. They estimate that 85% of those cases were involving a parent or guardian struggling with drug addiction. With the traditional model, families involved would come to court as infrequently as every 6 months. And because of the gap in service, other issues arise, such as domestic violence, mental health issues, unemployment, and homelessness. With the new Family Recovery Court, families are seen on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis, depending on the stage of recovery.
We hope with the frequent and intensive engagement with the family members that we have more one-on-one contact with them. They're meeting with their service providers more often, they're in court more often. We're keeping a better eye on their progress. We are kind of cheering them along and helping them achieve their sobriety.
Other family recovery courts have proven to reduce the time children are placed outside of the home.
We're hoping that the kids will be at home with their families much sooner after removal if it's necessary, so they'll continue with that bonding and being at home with their families, which is where they truly need to be if they are safe and they have a stable and loving home.
On the other hand, keeping a child in a dangerous home for too long is also a reason for more frequent visits, keeping up on the situation.
We have all experienced cases that have been on our individual caseloads where the mothers or the fathers have perished, have died due to overdoses or other addiction-related problems during the course of the life of the case. So if nothing else, we need to intensify our responses for those people as well, because we have people dying in this community.
Allen County's Family Recovery Court will only be the 8th certified FRC in Indiana at this time. In Studio 15, Rachel Russell, WANE 15 News.